Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Gabby throws a magazine away in disdain that she is reading in her hospital bed on today's Days of Our Lives when Melinda shows over to see her. Melinda is assured by Gabby that she is doing well and should be freed today. That's fantastic. Then Melinda handed Gabby sheet paperwork to sign and Stefan wanted her to create divorce paperwork. But if Gabby wants her to turn Stefan down, she will. Gabby says they both agreed the marriage is finished, so go ahead. She consults others. EJ excitedly welcomes Stefan in the living room, delighted that Brady's getting his just desserts. They start at once more about EJ sleeping with Gabby. EJ thinks it's all moot, as they're getting a divorce now, Gabby told him, when I saw her last night. Stefan argues that he knows Gabby and she won't want anything to do with him now that their marriage is gone and revenge sex is no longer useful. EJ, though, smirks as he questions why Stefan cares if the marriage is actually ended. He won't have her tied to someone like EJ. EJ switches to stating they all have to live civilly together until she steals everything from Stefan. Stefan insists that won't happen. They chatted, and he'd be astonished if Gabby ever stepped foot in the house again. Which she does before he can finish the phrase. EJ laughs in Stefan's face for being colossally wrong. He then tells Gabby he would have seized her himself if she'd let him know. He excuses himself, late for a meeting, leaving Gabby and Stefan alone. He asks how she is. Hanging in there, although she was a bit shocked by Stefan hiring Melinda, a business counselor. Gabby figures it helps that his lawyer had a crush on him and would go to that mat for him. She's in her rights to steal as much of the family fortune as she can, but as Stefan stated, there's nothing left to fight for. She didn't know he was there or came to see him. She merely came to get her things. She's moving out. For good. So she rushes out to do that, leaving a melancholy Stefan behind. In the interrogation room at the SPD, Eric informs Brady that Holly's visiting her mom in Paris, despite EJ working to poison the girl against Nicole. Talk comes to Brady's plea agreement, and he insists he's pleading guilty. EJ offered him a lighter sentence, 10 years, in exchange for his guilty plea. He's cool with it. He just needs to pay for what he done. It feels odd, he says, with Daniel's heart in his chest. He squandered the gift. Eric, nevertheless, feels Brady has a future and he can atone for what he done. He won't ever lose the guilt, but he'll learn to live with it. Eric comes over to the pub to chat to his dad after. He knows there's more to what happened, and things aren't adding up. Sarah's abrupt memory is bizarre, Xander being at Brady's when Jada showed up to arrest him is weird, Brady being adamant about not drinking before then, it's all off. Plus, he saw Sarah chatting to Fiona about some type of secret. Is it possible somehow Fiona is connected to the accident? Roman acknowledges it is, and she might have been with Brady that night. Eric has an idea. At the Kiriaki's mansion, Sarah attempts to grasp one of Victoria's toys as the baby cries, and Fiona observes sadly from the doorway. The phone rings right then, and Sarah breaks down as she strains to reach it and can't. Fiona walks in and helps her out, reassuring her while she insists she's failing at everything. Fiona tells her she's extraordinary carrying herself through this. There's no failing. Sarah says she and Xander are very grateful for Fiona being there for them and thanks her for not notifying the police about her deception. She would never have done that if she had any doubt Brady was the one driving. She just hopes she could genuinely remember him. As Victoria falls asleep, Sarah requests for some time alone with her daughter to prove that she can do this. Fiona understands and goes, lingering sadly in the corridor as she hears Sarah start to cry again. Titan yells at someone on the phone in his office at Titan just as Kristen walks in. She wants to know when he'll get Brady out of jail. How about never? Kristen reminds Xander that Sarah will only get out of her chair if Xander frees Brady. He, though, doesn't believe her. And he doesn't want Sarah to be Dr. Rolf's guinea pig, assuming the potion even exists. Kristen says it does and it's just about ready. And Rolf used a related medication on Marlena, Kayla, Kate and Bo. But when Xander demands to be taken to his lab for proof, she laughs at him. There's no freebies, but he'll offer him clinical data for Sarah to look at. But he has to get Sarah to recant her confession and free Brady. It's that, or it'll be Xander's fault she never walks again. Xander arrives home to find Sarah distraught and she tells him what occurred and how anxious she is. I hate it. I felt so helpless. She shouldn't have allowed herself get so outraged. There are many of parents with disabilities who manage, and it's a reality of life for her. There's nothing she can do about it. That's not necessarily true. He fills her in, and she's taken aback, giggling at the thought of a serum from Dr. Rolf and Data to check over. Is it written in Comic Sans? He insists it's real, but Sarah wants to know why Kristen would aid them. What's the catch? She says with feigned joy. Xander informs her the catch. Excuse me? She has to think about it, but Xander says it has to happen before Brady's hearing tomorrow. It's a limited time promotion. A few while later, EJ shows there, demanding to know what this is about. He tells them about Brady's plea deal, but Xander stops him. Fiona, meantime, stops by to visit a surprised Brady. She has a confession to make. She lied to Xander about being sober when she showed up. It was the only way he let her back into his and Sarah's life. They've brought her joy, but witnessing Sarah's struggle has made her understand. Just then Kristen bursts in wanting to know who she is. Brady introduces them, and Kristen demands to know what she's doing there. Fiona stands up, snaps that she was about to tell Brady how glad she is he's going to pay, and says goodbye. Kristen's offended, but she tells him he's going out of there, and soon. In the show's concluding moments, Stefan and Gabby say a tearful goodbye. He asks where she's staying, but Gabby says if his lawyer wants to get in touch, Melinda sees her every day. They both hold back tears as they say one last goodbye. Don't worry, Stefan, this will be the last time, Gabby says, crying openly now. She touches his face, grabs his hand, and walks out. Brady tells Kristen to knock off whatever she's thinking about doing. She assures him she's not hurting Sarah, in fact, she's helping her. Rather than inform him what's occurring, Kristen just smirks, "You'll see," and slips out the door. Xander tells EJ that Sarah is no longer sure in her statement. Is that so, Sarah? EJ asks through virtually clenched teeth. She's not sure, but he thinks she seemed it at the time. Yeah, but the image isn't clear. She might have dreamt it. Xander reveals Sarah has been taking a combination of drugs. All right. What are they saying? EJ demands. I would like to recant my statement. Like hell she will. Xander and Sarah gaze at each other in amazement. Dazed Fiona glances at her phone closely at little bar. Eric enters at small bar and asks the server whether he recognizes Brady. Hard to forget that face. He was getting hammered acting like a jackass the night Sarah was hit. Eric demands to know why he allowed someone so drunk escape. That lady said she had it under control. What lady? He gives the guy a photo of Fiona, who informs Eric they left together.